Alright, so now we're here to talk about the Nintendo conference, but before we do that, we're gonna go over a couple things. One, if you didn't watch Microsoft or Sony, Michael is not here. He has a job, has to work. Especially right now, he's at work at this moment.
Because Nintendo decided let's have our conference
In
at
the-
a reasonable time.
The middle of the day. Yeah.
Well,
Well, like
middle
middle
of the
of the
day.
work day. Yeah. So, yeah.
you say
That-
work day, I say reasonable time.
Whatever. For working people, it's not reasonable.
So what are
Once again, we don't have jobs. So also, Taylor had something to say about the Sony press conference that he wanted to clarify from last night.
I just wanted to make it clear that my thoughts on Sony's press conference was that while they had games that I enjoyed, overall the conference was basically more or less the same as Microsoft's in the sense that neither had like games that wowed or like blew me away.
Right.
Basically, it wasn't a disaster. It was, to use gaming logic, it was a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, like a little bit above average.
Yeah.
Yeah. The games looked good. I thought they all looked really good, but they were games we had mostly seen before, and most of them, I mean, besides like the VR section. But yeah, and I think there was a couple more that were new, but yeah, they all looked quality, and it was nice to see new gameplay from it, but just none of those big, hammer down, oh, that's coming,
Yeah.
So that's, a quick recap of our thoughts if we didn't word it
As
as well in the Sony video. But anyway, and Sony showed a couple more games. I know Knack 2 was one. There's some other games they showed. I was importing the footage and everything, so I didn't really sit back and watch. But so Sony might have more to reveal this show, and I'm sure Microsoft does, and
definitely.
and we'll get to Nintendo now. So first they started off with this little montage of about 5 games, of people playing out in the open or wherever.
Those young adults and their Switches and their fast cars and
that people carry around all the time. Not the cars, the Switches.
what do you mean? I carry around my convertible everywhere I go.
On my back.
Mm-hmm.
On my wrist. So within the section, they first showed ARMS. Then they showed Rocket League, which is new to the Switch. Pokken DX, which we first found out about a week ago. FIFA 18, which I believe is new. And while I'm not excited about FIFA, I'm excited EA is back on Nintendo consoles because they kind of about a year into the Wii U were like, the Wii U sucks, and they kind of just jumped off. So,
but yeah, it wasn't even like the last sports related EA game like a re-release.
Or something like that. It was either Madden or FIFA, but
yeah, it wasn't even their newest sports title, which
I really can't
basically I just
clarify
recall that
but
it was
yeah.
like way later for it to be released than all the other,
like after the fact type. Like it was like half a year into that normal games cycle. Yeah. So yeah, FIFA 18 and then Splatoon 2 they showed off a little bit. And you know what? I'm very happy.
It wasn't the whole conference.
That's all we saw of ARMS and Splatoon, which is what we said.
Well, I don't know that. Well, they also showed it later in more montages,
but they didn't go in depth on those games. They're having invitationals at E3. They don't need to go more in depth during their
pretty much
little Nintendo Spotlight is what it's called. So first thing they showed off is a game that had previously been announced, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is more anime-ish than the last 2 Xenoblades.
Which again, I say is just a sign that Xenoblade now has money to spend on its franchises, so might as well and make it actually look as what
More Nintendo franchises look like, or
something that has more, I guess what you call production value.
yeah,
From, like the Japanese standpoint.
I guess. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I look at Xenoblade 2 and it looks cool, but like I was more impressed when I first saw Xenoblade Chronicles X, and that was a Wii U game.
Maybe that's just because you just love the Wii U.
Maybe I was probably desperate, but yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of the way.
Oh.
I'm definitely more of a Nintendo fanboy than anything. I'm gonna say that outright. Just I've always loved like the personality and everything that comes from Nintendo games and like I mentioned in another video, I like goofy things, and Nintendo is definitely goofy, and yeah, we'll get to some of those goofy things in a little bit. So, yeah, do you have anything more to say about Xenoblade?
Mostly that seems to be one of the games that, if and when I get a Switch, that'll be one of the things I pick up, because I do like me some, well, I guess you wouldn't consider it JRPG, well, that's the kind of RPGs I like to, throw some time into, because
Yeah.
the over-the-top stories I do enjoy.
Yeah, from what I've heard about, like, the Xenoblade Chronicles, like, the first one, its story, it seems very interesting with the, I forget the name of the machines that they're on, the Bion...
Oh, like, I thought you were talking about the Monado, because all I remember from Xenoblade 1 is Monado, boy.
Yeah, the Monado's the sword. It's like the Bio something, but like the huge robot thing that's like the 2 robots fighting that basically makes their world. Yeah, it's very interesting. And then Xenoblade Chronicles X, I don't really know as much about, but I got both of those games because Shulk was announced for Smash Bros. And fun little story, when Little Mac was announced for Smash Bros., I held off on picking up the Wii Punch-Out, and then about 2 weeks later, it went up $10. So the day Shulk was announced, I'm like, I'm getting Xenoblade Chronicles today. Walked in, picked it up, bought it, and sure enough, within the next month, it had gone up $5 or $10. And Xenoblade Chronicles X, I found out was on clearance at Target, and I was like, well, I'm gonna pick this up now because Nintendo games rarely go down in price until way after the fact. So
when everyone has their copy.
Yeah. So I picked those 2 up that way, which kind of leads into a point I wanted to make. No Smash Bros. Was shown, which I'm upset by, but I can also understand because I think they're trying to push ARMS right now. I believe the person who originally leaked the Rabbids game did mention a Smash Bros. Port. Now, that could be wrong, but
yeah.
I just don't see why Nintendo wouldn't do that if they're doing it with other Wii U games, And
not just that, it's their whole... The other little theme of this Direct was...
New games.
Well, no, just the whole fun and battling.
Yeah.
So if that's what they're going to be pushing on the Switch, is a bunch of multiplayer games, it kind of be dumb to be like, what we don't need? Our most popular fighting game ever to not be on the Switch.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I was just going to say that, like, we didn't really, besides Pokken, they really didn't show Wii U Deluxe games.
Yep.
So I think they kind of did want to say, hey, we're not just re-releasing games. There are other games coming. So, I think that was more of their focus.
Because they really could do that. That's basically what this whole first year of the Switch could be. Is just
re-releases.
We're getting all that stuff you like from the Wii U off the dying Wii U.
Yeah. So
It's okay, guys. We didn't burn everything when we torched the house.
yeah, which another point I wanted to make is last E3 was only Breath of the Wild and like Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I'm not the biggest Zelda fan. I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, so it was a bit underwhelming for me. Even though people say Breath of the Wild stole the show and everything, at least probably the Nintendo biased people, but you know.
Oh no, I'm one of those people who's also like lukewarm on Zelda, so I'm there with you going, yeah, it's probably a lot of people's
big
love of Zelda coming out with I love they're not saying they love the presentation, they just say, oh, I really want to play that Zelda game.
Yeah, which I'll admit, Breath of the Wild looks like a new and exciting Zelda game that I personally want to try. I know you played it a little bit.
Yeah, it is a lot different from any other Zelda game before, and I think that's again what's excited a lot of people when they were watching it. Like it's that whole. Basically, it's good when a game that you're just watching makes you really want to play it, and that's what Zelda was at last year's E3.
Yeah, but for me, while I thought Breath of the Wild looked great and everything, I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, so it wasn't the titles that I personally wanted, and it was nice to have a Nintendo spotlight again, have these sort of games to showcase and everything. So, oh, by the way, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is coming out holiday 2017, which I don't know if that game's going to get delayed, but hey, if it happens, great for them, It's just, Xenoblade Chronicles X only came out like 2 or 3 years ago, and it just seems like a quick turnaround for another Xenoblade game to me, but they probably have different people,
and it's
behind it and everything.
They've probably been working on it since, I don't know if they meant it to be a launch Switch title, but it's probably they wanted it coming out the same year.
Yeah, so I think they're doing everything they can to get it out.
Because it seems like they have a lot of their 3DS team people starting to make games for the Switch.
Which we'll get to in a little bit. Next is Kirby 2018. That's not the name of the game, but it's coming out in 2018.
Or working title.
Yeah.
Use your friends.
Yeah.
Well, not use your friends, but it seems like it has some kind of enemy controlling mechanic.
So to me, it looks like a copy, or not a copy. It looks like a combination of Kirby Superstar, where you can, kind of give have the second player control the enemies, mixed with Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was a late Wii title, which is the 4-player Kirby game. So, kind of a mixture of those two to make this new Kirby game. And, it's been, the last Kirby console game was, there was Kirby's, not Canvas Curse, but the
Epic Yarn.
No, well, Return to Dreamland came out after Epic Yarn. Epic Yarn was also on Wii.
No, that was one of them was on Wii U. The one
yeah, it's the drawing one. I know
Rainbow.
Yeah, because Kirby's Canvas Curse is the DS one, and then Rainbow Dream or something like that. I'll put the title here. Rainbow Curse. It might be Rainbow Curse. But yeah, so, and then also the Kirby Dream Collection is somewhere in there. That might have been after Return to Dreamland. I'm not sure. But yeah, so there hasn't been a Kirby game, especially in that style, in quite a few years now. Yeah, 4 or 5 years. So
a major 2D or side-scrolling Kirby game.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And there's been a bunch on 3DS, but we need the console ones, So, next was Pokken, and they announced it's going to be on display on the show floor. I think they had a direct about a week ago or so, and
mostly that.
Yeah, with mostly Pokken and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and it was I assume they were just like, hey, in case you missed that direct, Pokken is coming, so I feel like that was the reasoning for that.
And also just, I guess they also just an opportunity to calm some fears that some people were having ever since the whole
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon thing.
Yeah, the mix-up when they announced that game, or those games. Because I know since I usually pay attention to Pokemon news, there's been, like, through the rumor mill, talks of a Switch Pokemon game for a while. But a lot of people were thinking it was going to be either, like, the third game for Sun and Moon, like the way that Alexa might
like
have
like
them,
Emerald.
Yeah,
like,
for Emerald, for Ruby and Sapphire,
or Crystal, or Yellow, or
basically what they used to do with the versions, have a third one, but now it seems
before Black and White 2.
Yeah.
So they Black and White 2'd it. They're going with that style probably because they can sell double the games. Maybe it just depends. But yeah.
Game Freak has begun developing a core RPG Pokemon title on Nintendo Switch.
But yeah, do you have anything more to say about Pokemon?
No, just as hoping it's an actual main series game.
I think it is, because he said core style Pokemon game. So.
Oh, he said RPG.
Oh, okay. So yeah, hopefully it's the next version. That's what we want from Pokemon. And I think this would be the first time a game like that would be on console. Like, I know there's like XD Gale of Darkness and Coliseum and stuff like that, but those are a bit different. That's not the catch every Pokemon, fill up the Pokedex. We want, a Sun and Moon type game.
Well, now that I
Switch.
Think about it, the other, thing stirring around the community is, now that they've done the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, when the Diamond and Pearl remakes are coming, with talk about a Pokemon RPG on the Switch. Again, this isn't a predictions video. This is supposed to be all about the conference, but I could guess maybe there's a chance that this may be those remakes in one single game.
Yeah, in one single game, that's interesting. It could be. I feel like that would be an odd choice for this to be the starting one on the Switch, but knowing Nintendo, they like to make odd choices, so it very well could be. They very well could use the Diamond and Pearl remakes to figure out how to make a Pokemon game on the Switch. So, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, a Pokemon is on the way, so everyone can hopefully calm their nerves a bit. I honestly think that footage of, I don't remember his name, I'll put it up here, sitting at the desk, I honestly think that footage was filmed within the past week, just due to social media outcry. So, yeah. Oh, another thing not mentioned, maybe they'll mention it during the Treehouse, Mother 3, also not released. My 2-year prediction, 2 years each time prediction is not true.
Well, there wasn't even a virtual console, so there was little chance of that happening.
Yeah, that's true.
When there was no announcement of that.
Yeah, I still think they should do just a collection disc, or not disc, cartridge. So, because the Switch doesn't use discs.
Oh, yeah.
So, next there's that began developing on the Pokemon title for the Switch, and then they announced their other pretty vague announcement. But Metroid Prime 4 is coming. All we saw was the number 4 in space with the screw attack symbol. So,
at least it's just there, but not vaguely there like before.
Which
or Federation Force.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think I looked on Twitter when that happened, and people were very happy. So it's good to know that, yes, a Metroid game is coming, but also we had the treehouse going on while I was filming this, and really this shouldn't count towards their conference, but we'll go ahead and mention it. They announced a new 2.5D Metroid for 3DS, and
aptly named Samus Returns,
which is the best title they could have possibly chosen after Federation Force, or just the fact that Metroid, a true Metroid game, has not been around since Other M.
So what you're saying is they could have also called it Metroid. They made another one. You happy?
Yeah, pretty much. You happy now? Metroid, you happy now?
One of these days when Nintendo stops giving a damn about stuff, that's gonna be the title of the game of theirs.
You happy now?
Super Mario Brothers. Stop asking us about it.
Okay, so next was Yoshi, also coming out in 2018. I assume there's more of a title to it. Looks to be in a style of
title, yeah.
Yeah, it looks to be in the style of Woolly World with like the cardboard. Well, actually, I guess Yoshi's always kind of had a cardboard.
With
Yoshi's story.
I think before that was more like a storybook.
Yeah.
This is like actual actual cutouts and like not paper mache, but basically almost like Paper Mario-esque. Like we made this all out of construction paper and stuff like that.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be made out of wool. Yeah. Or yarn, as I probably said, because I always combine Kirby's Epic Yarn and Woolly World because it's a very similar style.
But yeah, I think it's just a continuation, just how well Woolly World were just received when it came out.
Yeah, which... Yeah, those were other games when we were talking about the Wii U deluxe games. I guess they did Woolly World on 3DS, and they did Mario Maker on 3DS, which I don't know how they would do on Switch, because you really want to be able to do the Mario Maker stuff in console mode, so if they can figure that out, I won't be surprised if that eventually comes, but they just have to figure that out. And then Woolly World, I think Woolly and Poochie, or Yoshi and Poochie Woolly World or whatever, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, that game might just be, being the deluxe version of it, because I don't know if people would be happy that they released that game a third time.
But Skyrim's did it like 6 times, and everyone's happy to see that game again.
Yeah. Nervous Nick put it best with Skyrim. I can't wait for E3 next year to see Skyrim announced again.
Now with 4K update.
Yeah, pretty much. Which they already did a remastered version.
Yeah, I know.
So
I can't remember the exact title, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So let's see. Fire Emblem Warriors. They didn't show any gameplay for this game. I don't think, but
I'm most confused with the mobile game with all the different heroes showing up from the different games.
Yeah,
but because the same.
It's the same concept, really.
No, with Warriors, if it's like anything like Hyrule Warriors, then it's a lot different. It's beat 'em up instead of tactics.
That's what I mean. Concept and like that it's taking all the heroes and putting them together. That's what I meant by concept. I know the mobile games, it's actually more of a tactical game, right?
But it's built like a tactical game.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it's just take all your heroes and smash them into the enemy until you win.
Yeah. But yeah, so Warriors is coming, basically another Nintendo Dynasty Warriors game. And that comes out this fall, apparently. Also, one thing that took me aback, Marth spoke English. I don't know if he's done that in any other games, maybe just through text in that DS remake of like one of Marth's games. I can't remember the name of that one, but yeah. When I heard Marth speak English, I was like, whoa, that's not the Marth I know and love from Smash Bros. But I think it's time to give him an English voice. It's been 16 years.
Oh yeah, I think he got one in the mobile game.
Oh, okay. See,
I don't know either. I just would assume that if it's being released for, on the App Store for an English audience,
yeah, he probably
everyone gets an English voice.
Probably, yeah. I don't know.
Or everyone gets an English voice actor.
Yeah. So which is another thing, they didn't really show off any mobile games. I assume they'll talk about that during the Treehouse if they want to,
Well, again,
maybe show it off on Jimmy Fallon.
I think it's again one of those things that now that the Switch is their whole on-the-go console.
Mm.
Before they were kind of testing the waters with mobile to see if that was would be
viable.
Will be an avenue out of not out of console, but basically if that was going to be a better moneymaker than keeping banking on the Wii U.
Right. Just I know Animal Crossing Mobile was a thing at one point, so that's why I'm curious if they're still gonna even follow through with that or not.
It's probably still in development.
Yeah. So
most mobile games don't take that long to develop.
Yeah.
Not as long as console games.
Yeah, and we'll see if they continue to update Pokemon Go. I know they did the Gold and Silver Pokemon.
So that the 14 people that still played. No, not saying I didn't like Pokemon Go.
No, Pokemon Go was great, but it was a fad. It was the summer fad of 2016. But then people had to go back to college or go back to wherever, and it kind of slowed down a lot. I'd say July and August of 2016 where
Oh yeah, it was basically the
months.
Wii Fit.
Yeah.
Of
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was easy to pick up and easy to put down.
Yeah. So next is when they showed Skyrim, which they showed at the Bethesda conference that it has motion controls and the Zelda equipment. Which, going back to Nintendo, is a very goofy company. When when Anuma was holding the Master Sword, like, how did this Master Sword just get in my hand? Just goofy Nintendo things.
Oh yeah, there's that. But again, we now have to, not to beat a dead horse, but we now have to point out Skyrim has been announced at every single
conference except
Microsoft.
I don't think Microsoft.
Except Microsoft
and Ubisoft, but I don't see why it would be announced there. But yeah, two of the major conferences.
Yeah, there you go.
Skyrim is that game came out in I think 2011. So Skyrim continues to live, and we'll see if it's revealed for anything else. The Amazon Fire. Next was Breath of the Wild DLC. I can't remember if that was you or Michael who brought it up for the prediction video. I think it was you, yeah.
Because I know it was one of those things they talked about last year.
Mm-hmm.
Or not last year, when they were starting to reveal more about Breath of the Wild. I know that a lot of people were a little upset about, because it's, no Zelda game before has had DLC, and now.
Yeah, minus Hyrule Warriors, but that's an offshoot Zelda game.
Yeah, not made by the Nintendo.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it looks like what they had is the way I described it is if you've played Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, there's Pit of 100 Trials where you go into these rooms and you have to defeat all the enemies.
It's extra dungeons. Yeah. Basically.
So looks like extra dungeons for the Master Trials, and then I believe there was new armor in there, which Link wearing Majora's Mask makes me go, oh god. That can't be good. But
the main thing is, though, hopefully these things are just cosmetics, except for
I mean, they are. I assume.
No, Majora's Mask gives you Fierce Deity Link.
I think Fierce Deity Link might be through an amiibo. I think there is a costume. I think when you do Majora's Mask Link, you might get Fierce Deity Link or something like that. I think. I might be mistaken on that. I don't have Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
But it looks interesting, and then they teased the champions ballad, which has a focus on each of the 4 champions, which are like, aren't they like hidden away in the 4 guardians or whatever?
Basically, it's like it's this game's version of the spiritual stones from Ocarina.
Oh, okay.
The stuff you go to each corner of the map to go get.
Yeah. So, yeah, and they're releasing new champion amiibo. That was the only talk of amiibo during the show.
Or by eventually when they come out.
Yeah. So I assume that's probably around when the DLC comes out, which is holiday. They might have said, if they did, I'll correct that.
Here.
Yeah. And then Reggie came back, which he was in a room before that collapsed and showed the vast openness, also known as you can take your Switch to the green screen room. But he came back to a beach in Los Angeles, which I don't think was a green screen because he just walked off.
I think it was some kind of stage.
It did look way too nice, and empty for it not to be a beach in California.
I know the trees were clearly fake.
Yeah, so that too. I don't know. I was listening to what he said. And the room didn't collapse, so I wasn't interested. No.
Rooms that don't collapse are clearly real.
So, yeah, he announced the he didn't announce them. They've been known for a while, but he was talking about the invitationals. Today is Splatoon. Tomorrow is Pokken, which I know Pokken has Matt, Pat, and Black Nerd on there. Shout out to Black Nerd for retweeting my Pac-Land video. Thanks, Andre. I appreciate that.
If you haven't seen the Pac-Land video, you should watch it.
Yes, it is definitely my most edited video. For sure. I put the most work into that one so far, I'd say. Maybe the top 10, just because I was getting my bearings and working on a very slow laptop. So, yeah, and then with Splatoon, Pokken, and then ARMS. The last one is an ARMS Invitational, which 4 of them are professionals, which I don't know how that's the case if ARMS isn't even released yet, but they're probably Smash Bros. Players.
I'd say they just released it early to people who have Switches.
Yeah, but I don't know how you could be a pro already, but we'll see.
Again, someone who's
played it more than the rookies.
Well, maybe it's developers.
Yeah, it could be. And then... Sorry. And then 4 of the contestants are going to be picked off of the show floor from, how well they compete on the show floor, like how well they do. I don't know exactly how it's done. I don't know if it's a tournament or if they go, you're pretty good at this game. Get on stage!
Probably that. They need entertainment value for this, so...
Yeah, so...
Someone has to fail spectacularly.
Oh, Reggie. Reggie versus Hungrybox. That was a bad time. But...
Didn't he beat him?
No, Hungrybox destroyed Reggie.
Oh.
Yeah, that was when Ryu was announced for Smash Bros. And Reggie picked Ryu, and he said, I'm not very good at Smash Bros. But he said, I'm going to train on the 3DS. And he did not do well. But it's okay. Reggie is a businessman. I don't expect him to actually be great.
You need to unlock this.
To be competing at EVO.
I'm not going to say actually know the secrets of Shenlong.
Nice.
References.
So next they showed Mario plus Rabbids, which they went in depth on the Ubisoft conference. It was the opener. Miyamoto got on stage and everything. But for this, they went over it and said, hey, yeah, August 29th, it's coming out. So it's good to know that there's more 2017 games happening, which right now I think is that, Fire Emblem, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Mario Odyssey, which we'll get to in a moment. then they showed Rocket League, and that it has exclusive Nintendo stuff, which seems to be the case with a lot of third-party with a lot of third-party games. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping for a little bit more third-party in the show. They showed FIFA, Rocket League.
Actually, showed
it?
I think they showed they just proved that there was actual.
Skyrim. Yeah.
They just proved that there was actual third-party stuff on the console still.
Yeah. Hopefully more third parties get out. I know the Sonic games are coming to it, and I think Monster Hunter XX, I believe that's the name of that one, is coming to it. I know at least in Japan. Hopefully it comes out here. And Rocket League has the exclusive Nintendo stuff. It has cross-network support, which that's at least 2 games now that have cross-network support on Switch. Rocket League and Minecraft.
Okay. So basically anything that's on a PC seems to be getting cross-play.
Mm-hmm. And then, so, the last trailer, I didn't say this out loud because I didn't want to, like, trick you. But when I saw the T-Rex running, I was like, oh, probably Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too.
Yeah, and then you see the T-Rex and that little eyeball hat, which I don't think we know his name yet, shows up on the T-Rex, and I was like, oh, yes. And then the jazzy Mario tune started up, and there were lyrics, which you normally don't hear in Mario games, so that's interesting.
Well, I'm sure in, like, the Japanese trailer that had Japanese lyrics.
Yeah, probably.
So basically, like, that's usually what they seem to be doing now with Nintendo games, like, making each a Western version and an Eastern one for Japan.
Yeah. But
yeah, it was very, very upbeat, very jazzy stuff. You know, usual Mario fare, but...
Yeah, which gets to the most exciting part, I'd say, about it, is that Mario can now possess his enemies with his hat. And I'm not gonna lie, I loved the first Mario Odyssey trailer, don't get me wrong. But I was a little worried that after Galaxy, I love 3D World, that was multiplayer, so that was kind of that game's, thing to shine about it, I guess. But with Galaxy was so interesting with its gravity controls and everything. And I feel like if Mario Odyssey came out, a lot of people would have, said, well, it's not Galaxy. It's not a Galaxy game. It's not as innovative. It's kind of more getting back to 64. Which 64 was innovative at the time, But it's nice to see that, hey, there is a mechanic in this game, and it's an interesting new mechanic. I mean, they've done kind of the possession thing in, like, Spirit Tracks, I think.
Well, again, that's a Zelda game.
Yeah, but we haven't seen it in a Mario game, so...
As I'm saying, it's a different game.
Yeah. But, possession has been done before in other games, but it's weird to see, like, Mario take control of a bullet bill and then fly him into...
Other bullet bills.
Yeah. So, I think that game looks great. I'm really happy with that trailer.
And also it seems like that's going to be this game's system of power-ups instead of, like, giving him, like, a bunch of new suits.
He actually becomes a frog.
That was that, yeah. No more frog suit, boys. Just frogs.
With a mustache and a hat.
Well, that's, of course, it's part of the package. You can't have Mario without a mustache.
I was going to say he gets Captain Ginyu'd. But he won't be stuck as a frog forever, or else that game will get real weird real quick. But, so yeah, that's coming out October 27th, which made me go, oh, that's sooner than I thought. But really, I was thinking early November, so it's about the same.
They could have really just said holiday 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I got the same point across, or same idea, but yeah, giving it a really October release date is a lot earlier than I think a lot of people would have expected.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's good to get that out there
early.
Yeah, so
people can pick it up for the holidays.
Yeah, hopefully Nintendo really produces the system, but we'll see. I know the Wii had a rough first year, in terms of getting out there. But yeah, so that was Nintendo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with it. I do wish there were, a lot of the biggest names from the thing was in development. Metroid and Pokemon, which is what a lot of people have been clamoring for. But I think I'm just happy to have a Nintendo E3 presence again that's not just Breath of the Wild.
Well, now they actually have a console again.
Whoa. Color Splash was okay. I didn't play through all of it, but I enjoyed what I played so far.
So you enjoyed collecting paint?
Yes, actually.
So you like going to the store and collecting paint?
Yeah, it was fun. Either way.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so that was Nintendo. Taylor, what are your thoughts?
Again, a lot of stuff I'm sure fans of these series are clamoring for. A lot of interesting, both new and familiar IPs. Again, I probably won't get all of them, but the ones that did stand out, I definitely are making me want to increase it. Are increasing my desire to go out and buy a Switch. So I guess it was an effective press conference from that end.
Yeah, which what I want to add is when it comes to this press conference, I was really worried about the runtime. As you could tell in the Sony video, I was a bit skeptical. But thankfully, Nintendo didn't do what I thought they might do, which is go in depth on Splatoon and ARMS. And they actually showed a lot of games that we haven't seen much of or anything at all. So, yeah, I wish it ran longer, but
a lot of these were just to say that, yeah, they're either coming out this year or they're in development. So that's kind of, I guess, that's how they were allowed to keep it down to such a short time. Because, again, it wasn't even mostly trailers.
Yeah. And, I know they said in the middle of the conference, basically, we're trying to focus on 2017 games, even though I think they probably showed more 2018 games, but whatever.
Yeah, it was 50-50. Again, like it was the 2018 games like Yoshi, Kirby.
Yoshi, Kirby, and then Pokemon's in development, Metroid's in development. So
those don't even have don't even have years. So
yeah, those might be 2019, 2020, something like that. They might have just started development on those games. We have no idea. So yeah, either way, as a Nintendo fan, I'm pretty happy. I would like Smash Bros. Or Mother. So I don't know how happy other people are. I think, a lot of people that were hoping for Metroid wish they actually got footage. But at the same time, I think they're probably happy that the 3DS one was announced. And another thing to mention is Nintendo's Treehouse event last year was really successful with Breath of the Wild. So I think Nintendo might be going with the approach of let's not show everything, at a conference, which I know not every company's doing that either. I know Sony has their thing going on. But, they just announced this new Metroid game at the Treehouse. So they might announce more. They might announce some at the Invitationals. We don't know. I know that's when they announced Earthbound Beginnings was at the Nintendo World Championship 2 years ago. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. It makes me want to get a Switch more. Mario Odyssey is probably my number one game I saw. Kirby looked fun. Yoshi looked fun. I kind of need to play. I actually need to go back and play Woolly World, and I need to play. I've been trying to find a cheap copy of Return to Dreamland, but that game's kind of sticking at that $50 value, maybe $30, but yeah. yeah, so I'm excited, but my bias is probably showing through right now for people who watched all three. But it's just I know I'll be getting a Switch at some point. When it comes to like the PS4, I'll probably be getting it after I get a Switch, you know. But that's just my taste. You know, everyone has their different taste. I'm sure for a lot of people.
That's the guy who already has an Xbox One.
Yeah, well, the reason I picked Xbox One is
I did.
more of my friends had Xbox One when I did it, or
It was going down to do the score for you.
no, because I got mine like 2 or 3 years ago. I'd say 2 years ago, but no, nope, yeah, it was a year ago, a year and a half ago. But another thing is that besides you, most of my friends who had PS4 are the friends that would be on 360 only playing like FIFA. And I was like, I would rather get the Xbox One, which I know Michael and Devin have, and might actually play other games with me. So like it was a numerical thing. So that's why I didn't get the PS4, buddy. I'm sorry.
I don't play much multiplayer on the PS4 anyway.
So yeah, there we go. Yeah, because when you were on 360, we didn't actually play together incredibly much.
No, I did some with
some Halo, yeah. But we didn't do like every night type thing, which I don't do on Xbox One, but you get what I mean. So that was a random little ramble there. But yeah,
may make it in the video, may not. You'll never know.
We'll see. So yeah, guys, that was our Nintendo discussion, which finally wraps up our E3 discussion, I'd say. Unless like I kind of mentioned before, maybe Michael will do his pluses from each show type thing. We'll see. But yeah, the series I like to call Darren Looks More Tired After Every Video series finally comes to a close. And if you joined here because of my E3 coverage, hey, thanks for coming out. I make other videos. A new game feeder will be out. There's 2 episodes of that. I've got a top 10, I've got a review, and I've got average amiibo trainer. I got best deals. I got a lot of shows in the works. I got a lot of videos planned. I mentioned yesterday that I do want to do a top list of Marvel characters, or a list of Marvel characters and a list of Capcom characters that I want in Marvel vs. Capcom, even if the roster's leaked, maybe just for DLC.
Like that? Yeah.
And I don't know when I'll do this, but I also want to do the same thing for whenever a next Smash Bros. Comes out. I want to do a list like that. I might do first party and third party lists. I'm still thinking about it. We'll see. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. So please, if you can, like, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Taylor'd really appreciate it. Michael'd really appreciate it. My mom would appreciate it. So thank you, guys. Subscribe for my mom, and for Taylor's mom, and for Michael's mom, and all moms in the world.
For the moms of the world. This is now...
Word to your mother. There we go. Alright, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye.